Happiness all the time. Yeah. Happiness all the time. DJ play that happy music. Yeah. Make the people sing along. Alright. Hi everybody. Osa, Osa. Osa, Osa. In my head, feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my liver, from my head down to my toes. Oh yeah, yeah. My mama said the feeling must be catchy. It's true and good, oh, true and good, oh. And if you see say something now they happen, oh mona I can get. DJ play that happy music. Let me get you fall back. Ay, 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 ay. Osa, Osa. Osa, Osa. Oh my God. True love will make it happen. True love will make it happen. True love will never let you die. Get up and dance in the rain. Dance in the rain. My mama said the feeling must be passion. It's true love good. True love good. And if you see say something now they happen. Oh mona can get. Yeah. Leave negativity for back. Leave negativity for back. Yemi Alade. All credits to Yemi Alade. I own no rights to this song, guys. Yemi Alade did it. Leave negativity for back. True love will not be happen. Oh la 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 la. Osa, Osa. Alright guys. Hi everybody. Hey, it's me again, Dr. Emelda Ntinglet-Fomanka again. Dr. Emelet. She's the one again. Coming to you again one more time live today. Guys, you might wonder, she just started today going live and she wants to go crazy with live. That's not the case. You guys know me, all right? If I find something that I need to help educate others, that's my own area of expertise, you want to call it. I disseminate what I know to help others so they can become good at anything they're doing, or they're averse with what they're going to be encountering sometime down the line. So I'm actually going to be responding to one of my fans, you in the audience, who reached out to me today after my first one and only live session on Facebook, asking me, you who is just traveling, how do other countries receive you as guests into their countries, even if you are transitioning? So I felt it's compelling that I reach out and kind of share my experience so far, since I've at least transitioned through about 3-4 countries before getting to here, Libreville, and I'll be going back to Cameroon very soon. So hey, be aware of what's going to happen when you are traveling. So my today's topic, I'm not a medical doctor. I want to put that as a disclaimer because I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm just sharing my experience as to how different countries behave when they receive visitors in their environment because of COVID-19. All right. So again, unfortunately, right now I don't have my mask on. Let me kind of like try that. Okay, I have a mask. All right, but because of this, I'm at home. I will be taking off my mask. So I'm hoping, of course, because my results show that I don't have COVID. and my family doesn't. So again, all right, about this, I'm helping out some of my friends who are actually in transit or those who will be traveling. Please, please, please be mindful of where you're heading. Reach out to the embassy of the country you're supposedly going to. Let them give you the specifics of what COVID test results you need to get. For instance, myself being a Cameroonian, getting my visa from the Cameroon embassy to travel to Cameroon, honestly speaking, I did not know. Considering that I'm not a medical student, I'm a doctor, but not necessarily medical. And yes, I do have a child who's a doctor, but I'm not medical. So if I do a COVID test, it's a COVID test. Whether the test is a PCR test or a whatever test, I have no clue. I did a test. So upon reaching the airport, before I traveled, honestly speaking, guys, be careful. Check out with your embassy what kind of test they want. We all know the test has to be within what? 72 hours, meaning within 3 days time frame of actually getting the results. But that's not all. Don't just think you will go and do a test and then provide it to them. No, some countries require certain types of test procedures to be taken. I am not very sure what that means, but when I got to the airport, I was flying Brussels, okay? When I got there, they took my test results, which I had taken. Okay, I just went to Six Flags and I did this test. Luckily enough, the test that was done was what the Cameroon embassy actually specified. They said the test must be a test that is done to test again for CPR, guys, PCR, and I will be calling that name in a minute because I have to write it down. It's polymerase chain reaction test. I'm not sure what those terminologies are, but hey guys, I'm a computer person. Anything in computer I can pronounce, not necessarily medical. So at this time, please check with your embassy, wherever you're supposedly visiting, wherever you're getting the visa, to know exactly what kind of test is needed. When I went there, I saw a young man who said he actually was supposed to be flying the week prior. But guess what? He showed up with some test results that Cameroon did not meet Cameroon embassy's requirements. So the airlines did not admit this individual into the plane. So he had to go back home and do another test. That's already frustrating as it is. And I know this young man changing his flight, whatever the case may be, in normal circumstances, this person is going to be paying more money than whatever was required, right? So again, I'm advising you and I, visitors, this guest, you and I, those who love traveling like I do, be careful. Check out again with the embassy, wherever you're going to get your visa. Make sure you know very well the kind of COVID-19 test that is expected by that embassy. In the case of my country, Cameroon, okay, Cameroon, USA, both. In this case, they want something that has a PCR test in relation to, again, COVID-19. So that's one. Now, that's not even all, guys. That's not all. After you've taken that test, let's say from the US, and you board the plane, oh yeah, you are sitting on your own spot. The mask must be on. That's one thing that I know very well. The airlines keep on guard that you put your mask on, which is true to protect each and every one of us. You should have all other things to take precaution. You should at least, of course, have your hand sanitizer. Of course, all the different things that you and I know from the time that COVID was announced till today, you know all the precautionary measures. I don't need to go over them, but while in the plane and traveling, do your best to maintain that social distancing. I will tell you that flying from US to Brussels, everything was fine. You know, one passenger was sitting, they skipped the chair, the next person sits, but that's not going to be the case when you're flying from Brussels to some of these African countries. So the experience I got, guys, just be on guard because you're going to be experiencing that. As you get to any of these environments, maybe even before you get into the plane, they do your temperature check, of course, everywhere, they do it. Don't even think that in Africa they don't do it. As a matter of fact, they're stricter in Africa than in some of our, European countries or first world countries, guys. All right. So they do of course, they go through and they do your temperature check. If everything is okay, you go and sit down comfortably, and then you put your mask on all the time that you are flying. Then let alone when you are now exiting the plane in an effort to sit there during transit hours while you're waiting, you still have your mask on. You have to do your best to at least stay safe. That is everywhere. So in Brussels, it's the same thing. Wherever we were sitting for about 5 or 6 hours wait time, we had our mask on, and you still maintain that social distancing as much as possible. Even if you don't want to, they already have the sitting areas demarcated in such a way that you have to adhere to it one way or the other. And so this is what happened. As you're entering or boarding the plane again, they're asking you your COVID test. Everywhere I go, test COVID or COVID test, whatever it is. I'm speaking French, all kinds of languages. All right, all I know is, where's your COVID test? And when I produce it to them, they look at it, okay, going to where? Cameroon. Destination. This is all in French. I don't even know what they're saying, but I know they're saying destination. And when I say Cameroon, Cameroon again have already presented to them the specifications of what kind of COVID tests that you must take. Again, please, this is the first caution. Check wherever you are visiting what kind of COVID test is expected so that you make sure that test is taken. All right, boarding the plane from Brussels, and guess what? I'm thinking everything is fine and dandy. When I get to Cameroon, I'll be good. Forget it. I got to Yaoundé. What happens? Spend some time again sitting there for them to do another COVID test. Especially you guys coming from the US, meaning us. They know that that's the land of COVID, right? We gotta be very careful now. You come from the US, all African countries feel they don't have COVID, and that's what they profess. But I guess they believe that you and I, foreigners, travelers, we are the ones bringing COVID into their nation. So guess what? Got there, spent another hour sitting there for them to do a COVID test check. All right, so you go there again, they poke your nose and do all the swab. And it's very painful because you will hear me screaming the whole time because I don't deal with pain that much, okay? My pain tolerance level is just not there. And some of them are so brutal the way they do it. They just shove it in your nose and twist it around. Be ready. Just be ready. Why? Again, they're doing their second test because they're not certain whether whatever was done is quite correct. I'm wondering if they do it and they realize you have COVID, what will happen? From what I hear, people get detained or quarantined, or they get sent right back to go to wherever they came from. It didn't happen to me, luckily enough, because when they did the test, everything was fine, guys. So that's my second check mark COVID related. So then I exited Yaoundé Airport. All right, go out, meet family, and now what happens? I need to do another test because within 3 days I'm going to be traveling to where? Libreville. Hey, every country wants that as you're boarding the plane, the COVID test result. I could not present the test from the US because first it's already been past 3 days, 72 hours. Then I need to present results that are within the 72 hours time frame. So what do? I'm getting out of the plane right there on Friday. What am I doing? I'm rushing to go and do a COVID test so that my results should be in by Sunday that I'm traveling to Libreville. Yeah. And I'm sweating because they say they will not take the test from the US. So at this time, I'm pretty much doomed. If I don't have it, I have tickets. You know, luckily, everybody who's traveling these days must buy insurance. Because if anything happens, you don't have to use your ticket. What do? You go ahead and at least file insurance that will reimburse you if need be, right? So again, I'm getting out of the plane. Next thing, my first thing in Cameroon is what? Rushing to go do a COVID test. When I did one, all right? So by Sunday, as I'm traveling to Libreville, what happened? As I get to the airport, I inadvertently used my COVID results that I did from way back, and I used it. Oh, they looked at me like, oh, no, mama, no. They spoke this French. It was a lot of it. Like, they just said, your test results are not correct. So I'm like, oh my God, I made a mistake, spoke in English, and I took my very current COVID test results and showed it to them at that time, and then they were able to allow me go in. Of course, before you board or whatever they do your temperature checks. That's one thing I will tell you that they do. They do the temperature checks, and they make sure that you have your COVID. And they tell you very well, do not lose your COVID results because you can be sitting right in the plane, they come around and check your COVID, whatever. All right, so that's that. Guess what? Now, as I got to Gabon, Libreville, spent hours there again for other reasons which I talked about earlier today. about visa, transit visa, and multiple entry visa, this, that, and the other. That's a different ball game. But for right now, getting there, again to Libreville, they did another COVID test. So COVID, guys, you guys who are traveling, be very, very, very careful, because I'm telling you, they will check you at it's like a checkpoint. Those of you who are familiar with Cameroon checkpoints, as you move one step, there is a checkpoint, a police checkpoint. It's the same thing with this whole COVID test requirements thing. So, getting to Libreville, they got up there and said, okay, Mama, you're flying a free jet over here. And as you're doing a free jet, go over this direction, sit there, you sit there for a while, then out of a sudden, boom, they take you right back in one of these rooms with some of these medical experts, quote unquote, I believe. And again, this time, in Libreville, it was totally different. It was just not the nasal swab thing they did. This time they did a throat swab. I'm like, oh wow, this is a little different. So they did my nasal thing, put it in some jar with some liquid in it. I guess it's whatever liquid or chemical that they use to determine whether you have COVID or not. And then they did my throat swab as well. And again, these people are just brutal. I will tell you, they're brutal in its entirety, because they just shove it right in and you're guggling like you're about to throw up. They really do not care. But again, guys, I'm just here to share with you what I know, because again, knowledge is power, and as I always profess, your education and knowledge are fundamental attributes of your future and a shield to all life challenges, everybody. Here again, again, your education and knowledge of anything is nothing but a shield to all life challenges. If you understand some of these things, challenges that you would have encountered would definitely not even come your way, because you already are on guard so far as these things are concerned. So, as you know, right there in Libreville, when they did all of that, and I was ready to get out, of course, they did their swab, and I'm out of there, and I have just a couple of days to be here in Libreville. Guess what? The next morning, the main thing that I need to do is to go right back to a COVID testing center in Libreville, because Libreville wants that as I'm exiting their country, I'm showing test results from their own country. They're not going to use that thing from Cameroon or the one from the US, because it's not only obsolete, but they want to be certain that their test results is what they validate that's correct. So I rushed, I did another set of tests, another COVID test result, COVID test, quote unquote, and at the end of the day, when I get the results, that's the only way that I will be able to use the results to board the plane back to Cameroon. Before, as I'm getting there again, I know the whole process is going to take a while. As I get there, it's obvious they're going to do what? Another COVID test. So listen, guys, as guests, as visitors, as travelers, be ready as to the number of times that your nasal swabs will be done. How many times they will poke your nose. This time they're adding not only nose swab, they're doing throat, whatever it is. Listen, guys, I'm a doctor, but not a medical doctor. So, in any event, this is just a little bit of tip that I want to give each and every one of you. So let me go through it in a rundown. Bam. If you plan on visiting anywhere, first thing, you go to the embassy that you're going to be visiting. You go ahead and find out what their COVID requirements are. Make sure you do the tests based on the specifications of that country's requirements. Next, have your test results with you at all times. Next, be ready that as you are boarding in any country, they will be doing other tests, be it temperature check, or they're going to be doing another nasal swab, or whatever it is, or throat test, whatever it is they're doing. They're just giving themselves the assurance. Next, if you know you're going to be visiting somewhere else, make sure that your results are within the time frame that is expected or required by that country. Most often, it's what? 3 days or 72 hours. These are just the little tips that I want to share with you, everyone. Hey, each and every one of you, you know very well, it's your girl, Dr. Emelda Ntinglet-Fomanka. As we say it, hey, if you were not born famous, you either make yourself famous, all right? Make yourself famous, or the public is going to make you famous, or you will be trending. And if you are trending, take advantage of being someone that is trending and disseminate information that people can benefit from. And as an educator, that's all I do. Let me take advantage of this situation and share what I know that it can help others. My friends who will be traveling tomorrow, next tomorrow, you already know what I'm professing at this time. Make sure your COVID results are up to date. And that's it. And I love you all. Mwah. Does anyone have any question, or is there any question there that they have for me? Yeah. By the way, if you have any question, do not hesitate to privately inbox me just like this person did. All right, and I will be glad to answer your question in another live session. I don't like doing lives. I like to do my YouTube videos so you can play it later. I don't know how this really works, but hopefully there's a way that I can transfer this. But if you have any questions, I am here. I am here. Anybody has a question?
Yeah, there are some couple of questions popping up. The first one says, how long does it take for the results of to be out?
Excellent. I will give you based on statistics. In this case, my own particular case, when I did my test was on Friday, and by Monday the results came back. And the good thing on the test sheet itself, it actually tells you the day that the swab was taken, the day that it went to the testing center, and then most often within 2 days, the results are back. They either email to you or check whatever way that you can verify if your results came. Very good. Hopefully that answers your question. Any other person?
Yeah, the second question says, what's the cost of obtaining the COVID-19 test in Cameroon?
25,000 francs. You will have a COVID-19 certificate. The test that they did at the airport, I guess the results were positive in the sense that they actually got some results back, and I was negative because after a few minutes of me sitting there, they asked me to go. In essence, it worked out that I didn't have COVID, right? All right, any other questions?
Yeah, this person says, so every country has to do their own COVID test?
Absolutely. From what I've experienced so far, you know, coming from the US, they did one, of course. Then I got to Cameroon. Cameroon did it. Now I'm in Libreville. Libreville, they did theirs. And upon exiting, they need me to do one with the report showing that it's from Libreville. They won't take anything from Cameroon, and they told me that at the airport. So yes, every country. So in essence, if you're mapping out your transition in the regions that you're going, give it ample time that you are spending at least 3 days, minimum 3 days. Since we know very well that when you take the test, it's going to take a couple of days before the results come. So map your travel that you just don't go today and the next day you leave. It's not going to work out. Yeah? Any other questions?
Well,
I give you that certificate. You walk out of there, you have COVID. As you are arriving in whatever country, they do their test and realize that you have it. You're going to be quarantined right there at the airport. From what I heard, the Libreville police told me, hey, if for any reason they realize I have COVID, they're not sending me out into their country. You know, they all believe that they don't have COVID, right? So they will not send me out to go and contaminate on any other person. The flight that is supposed to be taking me might not even take me, so guess what? I might be sitting there at the airport. So I really don't know. Luckily, I got out without any problems. But yeah.
They say, so it means you exit the airport before the result came up?
Oh no, there goes the difference. From what I heard, the test that they do at the airport is the expedited one, which is actually the one that Cameroon embassy does not want you to have to get into their country. I am not a medical person because someone explained it to me. I was traveling with a brother-in-law of mine who really explained to me the difference. The one that they do at the airport is like something that they do it in maybe 15 minutes or so. In essence, it's not really a test of the true PCR thing. And that PCR, it's called polymerase chain reaction. I believe that's what it is. So that test is the quick one. All right, they just want to confirm that the trace of the COVID doesn't exist, I think. It's not the 3-day one. All right, so that's what I learned. Any other questions?
No, a lot of people are watching and they are giving beautiful comments.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys for believing in me, okay? First off, listen. If you need me to talk on anything, remember I'm an educator. That's what I'm good at. Even if you think it's something I don't know, like I'm not a medical person, but at least I know I can have some facts based on my experience vis-a-vis things like this, COVID. So I don't care what it is. As an educator, you can always disseminate something based on research, okay? And I'm a researcher, so that works out. Any question you have, I don't care what it is, you know, if you don't really step bounds, I will give you the answer anytime. But I wished, and I felt that this is going to help all of you who plan to travel. Be ready for what it's going to at least be presented in front of you so far as COVID is concerned. So I want to thank each and every one of you. I want to thank you, first of all, for making me so famous lately. And I appreciate it. I'm taking advantage of it, guys. Hey, you make me famous. I remain famous for life. So thank you all. Any other question?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, they just want you to stay online. So many people are popping up.
They want me to stay online?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
I can go ahead and stay online and I'll be repeating anything.
They're asking that apart from the one they do before you travel, how are they reacting? How are the population of the country
excellent
reacting?
question. Oh my God, I love that. Who's this person? I love you. You know, thank you. Yeah, the question now is, how do people behave and or react to those of you who are coming in as visitors? Let me tell you, when I walked in from Yaoundé and I got to Douala the next day, and people are looking at me like, oh no, now when they bring that corona from our country. These are people who are like my closest friends, okay? So they say, well, yesterday corona, then I for Trump in country now. Oh no, I don't forget. Now Biden in country now, and I'm like, keep Biden alone. Leave him alone, that's my own man. And he's somebody that's going to help out. In any event, a lot of people believe that you guys coming from the US, you guys are the one bringing this COVID. So be very careful. So I maintained the whole time with my mask on, and when I was coming, my sister told me, buy a box of masks and hand one to each and every one. So do the same, hand people masks. I know some of them will probably not wear the mask, but a lot of them try to. But guess what? It's right underneath their chin. I need to show you guys what they do here. I don't know if it's a style, but this is actually where the mask is. At all times, most of them have their mask down here, or they do this. Okay, so their nose is pretty much exposed, and then they wear this. So I don't know if it's style, and some of them have very fancy ones. So, I mean, please, they have masks that you and I cannot even buy, okay? I don't even know, but they don't wear it the right way. First of all, they think you and I coming in as guests or visitors are the ones who have corona. So again, be very careful, stay on guard, be protected, do your best, and make sure that you stay protected. So provide the mask to them if need be, and just caution them. Yes. And then, let me tell you what's happening here in Libreville. You enter a taxi, automatically the taxi driver tells you must put your mask on. Okay? They don't care, because the police, from what I hear, the police stops them and you're not wearing your mask and you're a passenger, it's already a problem. So certain countries are abiding by this. And when I was walking around Libreville, I saw college students, elementary school students, primary school, they all had their masks. So again, it just depends. You just need to adhere to whatever the requirements are within the environment you're going. And let's just try to maintain social distancing as much as possible. Continue to wash your hands. Those of you who are traveling, have your hand sanitizers. And let me tell you this, I got to the bank. Which bank was it? One of the banks in Cameroon, okay? As I was walking in, okay, they were giving me hand sanitizer. I was amazed. They gave me hand sanitizer. I said, Maman, portez votre masque là. Masquez-vous, masquez-vous. So I masked me. So I masked me. And I sat there for a couple of hours with my mask. But again, mostly corporations, they are adhering to all the coronavirus related precautionary measures, I think. So we want to continue to profess that. But when you go to the markets, oh, forget that. Market is packed jam. We all know how the markets are. Nobody has their mask. Even if they have it, it's all the way down. I mean, I don't know. So I guess maybe in Africa, somebody was saying that if Africans had corona like the US, quote unquote, does, I think all Africans would have been crushed. So I'm about to believe it that they really don't have corona. So again, thank you for the question. Anything else?
For now,
all right.
I want to see you dance.
I want to see, who wants to see who dance? All right, I have my one song. It's Yemi Alade's song, guys. I own no rights to it. It's Yemi's song. Yeah. Leave negativity for back. Yeah. Alright, I just want to summarize what I said so people who just came on board, they should know what I was talking about, okay? Here I was just coming up with tips on how visitors should be prepared as they enter different countries. Again, I will run through the tips real quick so I can end the session. This is my second live, and it's just because, thank you again, that individual who privately inboxed me with a question on how do we handle visitors from other countries with regards to COVID-19. So, if you intend to visit any country, please check out with that country's embassy what the requirements are for COVID testing. Again, I did not know that there are different types of COVID testing. So don't just go blindly and take a test which is 15 minutes, 15 seconds and think it's going to work. So check with the country, make sure that you get the test that they really want before you go and try to board the plane. Next, make sure that your test is within the 72-hour time frame. And if you intend to travel, please plan your travel in such a way that you give ample time to be able to make different COVID test in whatever environment that you're in, whatever country. You need their own test to board their planes. You cannot bring the test from US and think that you will be able to be boarding a plane from Cameroon and use it. Even if it's within that time frame, they're not going to accept it. So somehow, if it was a money-making thing, we can say that these countries want you to do it in their country in an effort to give them money. But that's not the case. For instance, in Libreville here, I went and did a COVID test. I didn't pay a dime, right? I didn't. The reason why my COVID test in Cameroon probably cost money was because I needed it expeditiously. Because again, my travel time frame, I didn't have enough time that would give me that span of, what it is expected to go through the 3-day period to give me the results that are necessary. So that's my tip for you. Again, I would like to say, first of all, thank you for those who are watching. Again, it's nobody else but your girl, Dr. Emelda Ntinglet-Fomanka. Yep, that's me. You are own educator, motivational speaker, and I am here to share whatever I know to help others become better in whatever they are doing, or not to fall prey in the hands of people who are out there to grab you for whatever reason. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for making me famous, and I will take that and run with it. And that's precisely what I'm doing. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you for being loyal. Thank you for being my fans. Thank you for loving me the way you do. And kudos. Mwah. Thank you all. Next time we'll do, just inbox me with your questions, and we will continue next time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Again, I don't own any rights to this song. I don't own any rights to this song. And true love good, and if you see say something now they happen. Hey, true love, guys, true love. Make sure you love each other truthfully. Love people truthfully. It's going to help you out in this way, okay? Alright, leave negativity behind. Guys, you want to download Emelda song called True Love, and then you listen to the lyrics. As a matter of fact, I have the lyrics on my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. My YouTube channel, Entertainment Vibes, check it out. You will have the lyrics to Emelda song. I own no rights to the music. Yemi song definitely says it all. Keep negativity behind. Negativity behind, and continue to make me famous, guys. Thank you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.